All right, so this is the second video response to a subscriber, that goes by the name of Sami, that said, sometimes I feel like I'm lying to myself when I manifest. How do I get rid of it? So I just did a part 1 on the video, and this part 2, I want to read from The Power of Awareness and give you, in Neville's own words, chapter 5, The Truth That Sets You Free is the title of this chapter. Sometimes it does feel like we can be lying or whatever when we are transitioning, but the truth of the matter is whatever you say is true for you is true. So here is the truth that sets you free in the words of Neville Goddard. The drama of life is a psychological one in which all the conditions, circumstances, and events of your life are brought to pass by your assumptions. Whatever you assume, okay? Whatever you assume, whatever you accept, whatever you identify with, okay? Since your life is determined by your assumptions, you are forced to recognize the fact that you are either a slave to your assumptions or their master. To become the master of your assumptions is the key to undreamed of freedom and happiness. You can attain this mastery by deliberately, consciously control of your imagination. You determine your assumptions in this way. First, form a mental image, a picture of the state desired of the person you want to be. Concentrate your attention upon the feeling that you are already that person. First, visualize the picture in your consciousness, in your mind, in your consciousness. Then feel yourself to be in that state as though it was formed, as though it actually formed your surrounding world. By your imagination, that which was a mere mental image is changed into a seemingly solid reality. The great secret is a controlled imagination and a well-sustained attention, and repeatedly focus on the object to be accomplished. The great secret, I hope you're listening, Sami. The great secret is a controlled imagination and a well-sustained attention, firmly and repeatedly focused on the object to be accomplished. It cannot be emphasized too much that by creating an ideal within your mental sphere, by assuming that you are already that ideal, you identify with it and therefore transform yourself into that image. Identify yourself with what is in your mind. That is the new you. That is how you get rid of doubt. That is how you get rid of the feeling that you are lying. You identify with this mental image, not with what you see in the mirror, not with what the emails or text messages you get or don't get. Don't identify with any of that. Identify with the new image that you create, that you're abundant, that you're debt free, that money comes pouring into your bank account and piling up, that your businesses are successful, that you are in great health, that cancer is gone, that you are miraculously healed, that it's a total miracle, that your man is head over heels in love with you or your woman, and everything in your life is going great. That's what you identify with. You do not identify with what's in here in a 3D, because that shit is old news, okay? Now, let's get back to the chapter. The great secret is a controlled imagination and a well-sustained attention, firmly and repeatedly focused on the subject to be accomplished. It cannot be emphasized too much that by creating an ideal within your mental sphere, by assuming that you are already the idea, you identify with it and thereby transform yourself into its image. We will transform ourselves into this image. We will transform ourselves by our fixed attention and by identifying with it. Don't identify with what you don't want. Identify with what you do want, okay? This was called by the ancient teachers subjection to the will of God, or resting in the Lord. Rest in the Lord. And the Lord, the God, is within you. It is your divine spirit. And the only true test of resting in the Lord is that all who do rest are inevitably transformed into the image of that which they rest. You become according to your resigned will, and your resigned will is your concept of yourself and all that you consent and accept as true. You assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled and continuing. Key word, continuing therein, take upon yourself the results of that state, not assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are ever free of the results. When you understand the redemptive function of imagination, you hold in your hands the key to the solution of all your problems. Every phase of your life is made by the exercise of your imagination. Every phase of our life is made by the exercise of our imagination. Determined imagination alone. We're free. We're God's. We can have anything we want. It is just by the power of our imagination. Determined imagination alone is the means of your progress, of the fulfilling of your dreams. It is the beginning and the end of all creating. The great secret, here it is a controlled imagination and a well-sustained attention, firmly and repeatedly focused on the feeling of the wish fulfilled until it fills the mind and crowds out that doubt, okay? Till it fills the mind and crowds out all other ideas out of consciousness. What greater gifts can be given than to be told the truth that will set you free? John 8:32. The truth that sets you free is that you can experience in your imagination what you desire to experience in reality, and by maintaining, okay, it's not an isolated incident. We're going back repeatedly until we crowd out the doubt, until we crowd out the old circumstances, and we constantly identify with that which we desire to be, the new self, okay? By maintaining this experience in your imaginations, your desires will become an actuality. You are only limited, here it goes, by your uncontrolled imaginations. Stop letting those old thoughts creep back in your mind, because that's old news. And lack of attention to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. If you don't give yourself that, if you don't pay attention to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you don't have it. That's all we have to do is claim it and own that feeling of the wish fulfilled and embody it. You embody it and let it consume your whole consciousness, your whole inner being, and that is what becomes reflected in our outer being. When the imagination is not controlled and the attention is not steady on the wish fulfilled, no amount of prayer or pity or invocation will produce the desired effect. That's probably the state that you're at right now. When you call up at will whatsoever image you please, when the forms of your imagination are as vivid to you as the forms of this reality of nature, you are the master of your fate. You must stop spending your thoughts, your time, and your money. Everything in life must be an investment. Neville Goddard.